In this video, I'm going to be showing you where we can get some seasonal crops from in the garden and how we can use those to make a really nutritious family meal. Hi, so I'm in the veggie patch and autumn's here now, so a lot of our summer crops are starting to die off a little bit. But the price of veggies keeps going up, so I want to try and maximise what's left of these summer crops while we can. One of the things that we've had really good success with this year is zucchinis, and we actually had some in the garden bed and we put some in these buckets, and the buckets, although there's not many left now, we've pulled a lot of them out. There's still a couple of great zucchinis here, and that's definitely a cost-effective, money-saving here, because seasonal veg, it's in abundance in the garden. We have had so many of these beautiful zucchinis, and there's a couple here that I'm going to pick because I'm going to use them today in a recipe. Zucchini is one of those great veggies. It's been really easy to grow. We just grew them from seeds and then transferred them into the pots, and during the summer we've had a constant supply of zucchinis, and you can use them in so many ways. We've had them grated in like a zucchini slice, we've chopped them up in a bolognese, we've made them into like just roasted them in the oven. You can even, if some of the times you miss them and they get really big, you can just scoop out the inside, make a beautiful like mincemeat filling and roast them in it, and they're delicious, and our kids love them too. So it's getting one of your 5 a day and a nice cheap meal for the family. So I'm going to cook something later with those, but while we're in here I want to show you something else over here that we've also grown in pots. We've been growing some eggplants, and normally we've grown these in the garden bed and we've never really had much success in the beds, but this year they've done great in the pots. Some beautiful big eggplant here. I might take a couple of these while I'm here as well. And again, these are a great veggie that you can chop them up really small, like just dice it and add it to a bolognese. Then the kids don't know it's in there, which is a bonus. But there's quite a lot of those on here. They've done really well. And eggplants are really expensive in the shop, so again that's another really good cost-effective, self-sufficient veggie that we've really maximised. Now here we've got these green beans, and we've been living off these through the summer. Really easy again, and there's quite a few weeds in here, but these grow in abundance. They start with these little white flowers. There's a little baby bean there. Really easy to grow, and the good thing about these is the rabbits don't seem to be too bothered about them, which was a bonus for us because the rabbits are a bit of a problem here. The kids love those, even as a snack in their lunchbox. Just a handful of those, you just blanch them just for a few seconds, 30 seconds, and they love them as a snack. So we're going to pick some of those while we're here too. Now some of these have gone a bit far, so I'm going to leave these ones and we can use those for seeds for next year, so we're going to leave them on there. But in the middle here, these ones that I'm picking are perfect size. They'll be great. So I'm going to pick some of those while I'm in here too. Okay, so we're going to go now into our chicken coop because we might use some eggs in our recipe. Now, we've got some eggs here. Oh, good. All right, Alice, can you hold the bowl for me, please? So we've got 15 chickens, and they haven't been laying many eggs as it's got colder, but they're still producing enough, so it's definitely still worth having chickens, and you can't beat fresh eggs from the garden. So we've got some here that we're going to use today, and we can add them to the ones that we've got in the fridge from yesterday in our recipe today. Okay, so this is our other veggie patch area, and we've still got some zucchinis in here that are looking really healthy even though the weather's gone a bit cooler, and we've still got new growth on there. I'm not sure whether they'll mature enough, but we're going to leave these for a while and see how we go. So we'll have a look here and see if we've got any zucchinis we can pick today, because that one. Can you twist that one for me? Yeah. So these are really, they've gone a little bit too big, but they'll still be nice roasted and sliced. You can still chop them. So what we're going to be doing with a couple of these, because I've already got those two, we might chop them, maybe grate some, and you can put them in the freezer. So then we'll have zucchinis in the few months ahead when they're expensive at the supermarket. We can still use our home produce, which is a good idea. So we've got other stuff in here, which we'll do some videos about another day. But for today's recipe, I'm really after some carrots. So we've got some carrots over here. And look, I'm not sure if these are going to be ready yet, so we'll just pick a couple. Oh, that's a good one. Beautiful. It's quite small, but it's a nice size, really. Oh, and I'm going to get that one as well.
Ooh, that's even better.
Yeah, that's a nice one. Let's have a look. Maybe, let's have this side. Just that one, because it's on its own. That looks a very small one, though. But oh, it's a nice one, though. So that's probably enough, because in our zucchini slice, I normally just put a couple of carrots grated in there. So I'm going to put those in the basket too. Now the great thing about carrots is they can grow all year round too. So what we're going to try and do is plant a couple of rows, and then once they get, you know, so they're good established size, thank you. Once they get established, then start another row off. And the same again. So you've got like a staggered start for all of those seeds. So then hopefully you've got enough supply. During the winter they do grow a bit slower, but you can't beat the taste of a homegrown carrot. They taste completely different to the supermarket ones, and I mean, they look different too. When do you ever see a carrot like that in the supermarket? But even the skins, I don't always peel these. Sometimes you can just give them a good scrub, you know, with one of those little scouring pads, just to get the dirt off really, and you can eat the skin too. Beautiful. And these, if you've got a pet at home, you can feed these to your pets. If you've got a rabbit, we don't have rabbits, just wild ones here, but yeah, otherwise you can put that into your compost bin. Now one thing I forgot to say before about the zucchinis is, if you haven't got space like this, like we have, we're very lucky here that we've got this space for these beds, but they actually grow really well, as you can see, in the pots. Although we'd cleared out some of the pots, I think because it's a little bit more exposed up there, so the cold weather has killed some of those off now, but they grow great in pots. So if you've only got a patio garden, or you know, a small space where you can grow, growing in pots, it's really great for zucchinis. It's the first year we've done it, and we probably got more out of the pots than we got from down here. So that's a great tip. Don't be put off if you don't think you've got space, because pots are great. And there is another video on there about growing potatoes in pots. We had really great success with that too. So don't be disheartened if you haven't got a big space, because you can still grow your own veggies like we are. Alright, so this is what we've just collected from our garden, and most of these are seasonal crops. The zucchini, the eggplant, those lovely beans, those dwarf beans. Again, they're great to grow. They have such a heavy crop on them, and they're really easy. So again, if you've only got a small space, you can even get those long rectangular pots, planter pots. You could probably stick about 10 of those in there, and you'll get a great little crop off there. And we've been eating those for months. Another thing you can do, you can chop those up and freeze them as well. We've got quite a lot of those in the freezer. Our carrots you can grow all year round, but everything else in here, seasonal produce, and of course our eggs. And we're going to use most of this, maybe not the eggplant, but everything else we're going to use some of today in our homegrown recipe. Okay, so we're ready to start cooking. Now there's a few ingredients that we didn't pick down in the garden today. One of those is the potatoes, but these are our homegrown potatoes, and there is a video on our channel about how we grew these, and we grew those in buckets. So again, really successful in buckets, so you don't need a huge space to grow those. I'm also going to be using some homegrown garlic. Now it was a pretty wet season for growing last year, so it wasn't as successful as we hoped, but we still got around 5 kilos of garlic, and we will be planting garlic very soon. It's almost time for these to go in the ground. So if you'd like a video of us doing that, comment in the comments and we'll do a video of that. I'm also going to be using some of the leftover onions. These are all we've got left from our onions, so they're quite small. I may need to use a store-bought onion as well, but we'll see how much we get from those. But again, we'll be planting onions very soon, so if you'd like a video of that, let us know, and we can show you how we grew our onions as well. Alright, so we're going to start by peeling some potatoes, and it depends how much you want for your family. Our children quite like these when they're chopped nice and small, and we just roast them in the oven. They're kind of like chibbles, but they really enjoy this. So I'm going to peel probably half of what I've got here for us for tonight, for with our dinner. Okay, so I'm just going to heat some olive oil in the pan. And then I'm just going to fry off the red onion, and I think that's probably enough actually, although that was very fiddly chopping those little ones. That's probably enough. Just put a little bit in the bottom, and then I'm going to chop the garlic. And now the garlic's gone in as well, and I don't fry it too much, just soften it really. And then those potatoes, we're going to drain those off and then put them in the oven with a bit of olive oil. Okay, so we've drained the potatoes, they're nice and dry, and this pan's just been in the oven just to heat the oil. Pop them in the oven. Okay, so these are the eggs that we got this morning from the chickens, fresh, and there's 5 here, so I'm probably just going to add a few more from the fridge from yesterday. So then we get a nice deep slice. So just grease the dish with some butter. We use unsalted butter, but whatever you like. And this should hopefully stop the slice from sticking when it cooks in the oven. Alright, then we're going to add onions, garlic, carrot and zucchini. And then just put this on the top. And then I just mix it around a bit just to make sure that you've got vegetables right through it, because sometimes they stay in a clump in the middle. And now we'll just grate some cheddar cheese, which will be the only item that hasn't come from our garden. So we'll grate some cheese on the top and sprinkle some oregano on the top. Again, that's not from the garden, that's from the store, but we do have oregano grown in the garden. So hopefully in the future we'll have our own oregano that we can use. Okay, and then sprinkle the cheese, however much you like. This is just cheddar cheese, you can use what you like. And then a little bit of oregano. Sometimes I put a bit of black pepper too in with the whisked eggs. I didn't today, I forgot, but never mind. Okay, and I'm going to put it into the oven at about 200. It'll probably take about half an hour, but you'll know because it will rise and it will look nice and golden brown and it will be like springy to touch. Alright, so we're just going to prep our beans. So these are what we picked today. And we're going to keep them whole. Just going to chop the ends off. You can chop them small if you like, but we're going to keep them like that today. So carrots have been in for a few minutes, and we just add the beans. And once that comes back up to the boil, about 1 minute, and then we'll have them as they are because we think they taste better, crunchy. So that's cooked. You can see it's risen, it's nice and golden brown, and it's just springy to the touch. And here we have our family dinner. Fed a whole family of 5, self-sufficient family, loads of seasonal veg from the garden, produce from the chickens. It's really simple, easy to make, and even if you haven't got all these veggies at home, you know, they're staple ingredients that you can get at the supermarket. It's still a relatively cheap meal, and the best bit is these leftovers, even when it's cold, it's delicious as a snack.